Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-holes, 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 MMA-holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-holes, 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 MMA-holes.
No way.
Oh! Yes, yes, yes. Monday night, surprise, surprise, motherfucker. MMA-holes celebrate. Everybody's here. Everybody's live on a Monday night. That's right. We are back. It's MMA time. Let's forget about the UFC. That's not the UFC. The WWE. Let's remember the UFC. It is fight week. UFC 210 fight week. Wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How's everyone doing on this surprise motherfucker show? This is not a dislike party. We're back in the like section. And right off the bat, we have 11 in there. And this is what we're going to do. 10 more likes. Yes, fight week. 10 more likes. Started it off strong and fast and hard. I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. Fuck you, dislikes. I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. I hope the dislikes die of AIDS. All right, the dislikes are dying. The likes are swole again, and we're back. Monday, UFC 210. Can't tell you how excited I am to get a Fight Buddies going on Saturday, and this whole week we have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. UFC 210's in the house, and check out this living room. There it is. Rumble versus Cormier. DC versus Johnson. They're running it back. They're going back at it, and they had a media call. Meteor. The media's gonna hit the fuck me. They had a media call. It was last week, the end of last week. I didn't really get to hear it, and some of you guys haven't heard it either. And even if you have heard it, let's go through it together. Let's listen to it. Let's get pumped up. We have a pay-per-view event coming this week, and we need to talk about it. Look at this chat room, swole with friends, hanging out on a Monday. Connor says, wonderful, wonderful, and that's right. Wonderful, wonderful to you, my friend.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's right. Let's all wash the crud out of our eyes. Let's get that WWE out of our heads. It's back to the grind. It's back to the UFC. How many people in the chat did hear the media call last week of Cormier and Johnson, Weidman, Musashi? How many of you guys in that chat? Let me know if you did. If you didn't, this is the show to watch. We're going to listen to it together. We've done these media call shows before. We're going to break it down, see what's exciting, what's not exciting. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to have a great time. Wednesday, we're going to have our weekly Wednesday show, and I'm looking to put together a star-studded show for Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be pulling together some good faces, jumping on the MMA-holes, hanging out with us, talking about UFC 210. Everyone in the chat, how are you? Hope everyone's wonderful, wonderful. And look, welcome our new friend Nightbot that solicits the MMA-holes gear and social medias. Yeah, that's right. So have head movement for Nightbot.
Head movement! Head movement! Head movement!
Move those
head
feet.
Movement! Head movement!
Oh, there he is.
Head movement!
Follow the wonderful, wonderful MMA-holes. That's right, on Twitter. So, Jesus Christ is here, Steven Cedillo's here, Connor's here. We also have Olympia Lowlife, Devil Eggs is here. All right, Jesus is talking about the WWs of Ease, but we're going to be talking about UFC 210. Are you guys in the chat ready? Let's get this party started. We're going to listen to the conference call. We're going to break it down. We're going to have some popcorn. It's Monday. That's right. Happy Monday. I know that's everyone's favorite day of the week. Who gives a fuck? Here we are. Google Zoom it. UFC 210. Fight Buddies unite. MMA-holes unite. Let's get this party started with the UFC media call. Word.
The event takes place next Saturday, April 8th at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. And now I'd just like to welcome the four fighters who are on the call with us today. UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. Number 1 UFC light heavyweight contender Anthony Johnson. Number 4 UFC middleweight and former middleweight champion Chris Weidman. And number 5 middleweight Gegard Mousasi. I'll now turn things over to the call center to open it up for questions.
Let's open it up.
Perfect, thank you. If you'd like to ask a question, please signal by pressing *1 on your telephone keypad.
Right off the bat, you notice that they got the phones a little bit better this time around. That's good. The last time UFC 209 was really, really bad, and the connection was terrible. So, all right, we're in the right direction.
If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, press *1 to ask a question. We'll pause for just a moment to allow everyone an opportunity.
I think I spoke too soon.
And we'll take our first question from Jeffrey Harris with 411 Mania. Please go ahead.
First question for you, Chris Gegard. Obviously, the end goal here, by the way, is to
What? Speak up.
fighting for the 60 middleweight title. But does it bother you at all that Michael Bisping will be fighting for later this summer for the middleweight title?
Is this guy fucking... Was he talking from 4 miles away from the phone? Did he put the phone down and decide to run across the street and be like, by the way, I got a question for you. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. The fuck's going on?
Because this will be
I can't hear the question really well.
Here we go.
The sound is not that good.
Yeah, same here.
You know, I was just... I probably should have listened to this before. So you're getting a live reaction from me. I thought they ironed out the details. This is the UFC, $4 billion company, and they can't get a fucking media call together. I don't, like, can't you just open a Google Hangouts like the MMA-holes or on Skype or something like that? Get everyone in? It's only 4 people. There's only 4 fucking people. Look, check it out. These are the 4 people that are on the call. Weidman, Mousasi, Cormier, and Johnson. Get them on a Skype call or some shit like that. I mean, what the fuck? What's going on?
I think you're basically asking, if I'm not mistaken, what do we think about Bisping fighting GSP for the middleweight title? Right? Or no? Because we could hardly hear.
Well,
I don't know. I think we
the
lost.
question is for me?
I think was it for both of us? I don't know. I couldn't hear.
Have him
So
repeat
I
the
don't know.
question. If not, we'll move on to the next one.
Oh, this is so cringe.
And I believe the caller has disconnected. We'll move to the next question from Damon Martin with Fox Sports. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. First question is for Anthony Johnson. Rumble, this is, the rematch with Daniel Cormier. You fought him, basically 2 years ago. What is the biggest difference for you going into this rematch? What separates you from now versus that first fight in 2015?
Well, I'm definitely not the same fighter I was 2 years ago. Every day, every week, every month, every year, I'm getting better and better. So, you'll see a different guy out there the next time you see me fight.
I know when I talked to you after the fight was canceled the last time when DC got injured, you had said that you were in the best condition, the best shape you've ever been in, and it was obviously a letdown that you didn't get the fight. Was it not so much tough getting back up for it, but I mean, how did your body react after going through an entire training camp last year, and then they kind of have to restart that again without ever actually having fought?
I mean, it wasn't too hard, I'm glad he canceled on Thanksgiving because I had a chance to eat. With the fam, so everything was all good. But, I just started back from scratch like I always do and just got back in shape like I needed to. And, no injuries and everything's good to go.
I know you and DC have been pretty cordial with each other leading up to the fight, but I know he said a couple of times that, he believes that you have basically one round to go out there and beat him. Now, you've been a vicious knockout puncher in that first round, maybe the first 7 minutes, I think is what he said. How do you feel about that? I mean, is that just typical, trash talk, or how do you take that, that's kind of the perception that he has, that, believes you're really dangerous in that first round, but then after that, not so much?
Well, the majority of the community believes I'm just a, first-round fighter because most of my fights end in the first round. But, they're entitled to their own opinion, and that's fine with me. I have nothing to prove to anybody except myself, so if he wants to believe that and everybody else wants to believe that, that's completely fine with me.
Wow. Rumble Johnson's really selling a fight. He's really getting me pumped up for this fucking fight. I mean, right off the bat, we're like only 4 minutes into this. Rumble was asked like 3 questions, and honestly, I just want to take a nap. You're supposed to be selling a pay-per-view here. Now, I understand you don't want to put on a character. You want to be yourself. That's fine. But can we have a little bit more excitement? And you're like, yeah, whatever. I guess I'll just show up and fight.
In the first fight, you came so close. You hit him and you knocked him down in that first round. If that same opportunity comes up in the second fight, do you believe that you'll be able to capitalize and get that finish, to get that clean knockout like you had over Glover, like you had over Jimmy Manola?
Yeah, of course. I just have to. I just got to go out there and be myself and do what I do. If I I hit him one time and he drops, and I go after him again.
I'm sorry, Rumble. I want you to lose.
Hit him again. He's definitely in trouble. The second punch.
Again.
But punch or kick or whatever it is. But Daniel, he has a great chin. He's a great athlete. So he won't be easy by any means necessary. So we'll see what happens. We have a week till we find out. Technically, so let's just wait and see what happens.
Oh, let's just wait. We have a week to find out, so let's just wait. Oh, by the way, it's a pay-per-view. If you want to buy it, buy it. We'll just wait and see what happens. How is anyone going to want to pay for this pay-per-view come on. Do you think the people at UFC are just cringing right now? Like, dude, please, help us here. We're trying to sell a fight.
And a question for DC. DC, I know legacy is important to you. I know when you retire from this sport, you want to leave it behind in a way that, we think you as one of the greatest of all time. Does getting a second win over Rumble get you any closer to that, or is it ultimately always going to come down to that John Jones rivalry?
I think beating Rumble again, it'll help, but ultimately it will come down to my rivalry with Jones. Anthony has done a tremendous job as he's come up in weight classes, but we're talking about a rivalry with a guy that many consider the greatest fighter of all time. So wins over a guy like John Jones is what's going to really, probably be the one thing that solidifies where I'm trying to sit whenever I retire from the sport. At the end of the day, I do have a tough challenge on my hands next week. Beating Anthony again, it'll just be a closing the chapter, people really do believe in him, and they really do love the knockout, so he gets a reputation for being, the scariest guy. So beating someone like that twice really should cement who I am and everything else I've done, but ultimately I think it will depend on the rivalry with Jones.
I like the fact that, and a lot of people don't like DC, but I like the fact that he will not quit until he gets that rematch with John Jones, the one guy that put the blemish on DC's record. And DC is definitely one of the most underrated fighters, man. This guy has cleaned out everybody, and he lost to John Jones. People forget it was a decision. People forget how close the fight actually was against one of the guys that are arguably one of the best fighters in the sport. So I really, in the worst way, want to see that rematch of DC and John Jones. We'll see how that goes, but right now he has a task at hand. Fuck me in the head.
Head movement! Head movement! Head movement!
Yeah.
Head movement!
Thank you. And he has to get past Rumble for the second time. In the chat room right now, who do you think is going to win this fight, Rumble or DC, as they ask questions?
My last question, DC. You've done so much in your career, fighting at heavyweight, beating everybody that you've ever faced with the exception of John Jones. But going into this fight, I think the odds have it pretty much dead even. The last I checked, a lot of people believe, the Rumble with the knockout power that he is, the guy who could beat you. Why don't you get the respect that you deserve, considering you do have a win over him, and outside of the Jones fight, you've been undefeated your entire career?
There you go. There you go. My man's reading my mind. That's a good question.
I don't know. But as I've said time and time again, I cannot dictate people's feelings. The fact that the odds say that we're even, I actually have no idea how anyone could think that we're even. He had a moment. He had a moment in the first fight. Outside of that moment, I pretty much just beat him up. So I don't understand, what would make anyone believe that Anthony and I are close. But next Saturday, I just get to show him again and just beat on him again like I did last time.
I love it how there you go, Rumble. There you go. Talk a little bit of smack, for God's sakes. Saying it wasn't even close. Now, that first round was the scary one for DC. But if you watch it again, that first round, he got clocked. DC closed the distance real quick. But man, Daniel Cormier has some chin, man. He ate that punch. Full force. Right on the fucking mush. And DC was able to shake it off. Went 3 rounds and then finished Rumble. People say, hey, maybe the cardio's not all there for Rumble. Rumble seems like he's working on it this time around. DC's confident and saying that he's going to make easy work of the guy. I mean, Rumble's no slouch. But if DC has that chin, if that chin holds up, it's tough not to pick DC again.
Thanks, DC.
Thanks, DC.
And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad.
Oh, God, I want to get on this question so
from
bad.
Kendrick Johnson with RingTV.com. Please go ahead.
My first couple calls is for Rumble. How you doing, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Wait. Is this the guy? Hold on a second. Is this the guy from the last time that sounds like fucking Porky Pig? Hold on.
My first couple calls is for Rumble. How you doing, brother? How you
yeah, I think this is him. You guys remember the UFC 209 conference call? The guy's like, and no one can understand what he was saying. I think it's the same guy.
doing, man?
Good, man. I ain't talked to you in a minute. What's happening?
Yeah, we gotta catch up. Does it bother you the fact that? Well, I'll phrase it this way: with getting that belt, would that solidify your legacy as being as one, not just a knockout artist, but just being as one of the best fighters of your generation, and kind of you be kind of, I won't say validated, but kind of validate you with you having a strap around your waist?
Yes. I mean, that's always the ultimate goal for any top athlete in, mixed martial arts or
Hey, Rumble Johnson.
any sport to be the best and get a championship or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, getting the belt will definitely put me right up there with the best of the best. I don't want to be a could have been or one of those guys that they talk about on the boards or whatever, saying that this guy could have been this and he could have been that or should have been and all of this and all of that. I want to be that guy that they said he did it.
And we've talked, of course, after you lost to DC the first time. In a weird way, do you think you had to go through that? Because I remember you kind of made it like, well, it just wasn't my time, I wasn't ready. Do you kind of think you had to go through that to get to this point, to be ready to be that champion? In a weird way, looking back on it, of course, you don't want to lose, but you think in a weird way it was a blessing to get you to this point and ready for this big moment?
I can't listen to this fucking guy. Hold on. Man, I gotta rehear that. Jesus says, Chris, wait till you hear the Hindu reporter that took over the rest of the interview in a while. We need Jacob for the translation. These guys, it's their job. You'd think they could fucking answer a question. Hold on.
Point to be ready to be that champion. In a weird way, looking back on it, of course, you don't want to lose, but you think in a weird way it was a blessing to get you to this point and ready for this big moment?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely lit a fire under my ass to train harder and know what I needed to do to beat this guy, but he's the champ, and that's what it is, you know what I mean? Everybody trains to beat the champion and be the best, so, I'm just like the average person. You know, I'm going out there and you know I did what I had to do to prepare. So I look forward to it.
And do you see your hand getting raised without getting a knockout? Can you see your hand still getting raised?
He sounds like Bobby Boucher. He sounds like. Oh my God.
Excuse me.
Hello.
And how's that?
He doesn't. Hey, what's your name? Kendrick?
They're so confused.
Is your name Kendrick?
Yeah, Kendrick.
Kendrick, he does not believe that if he doesn't knock me out, he's going to get his hand raised. That's why he didn't answer your question. Anthony's a smart guy. He won't lie to you. He's honest and he's smart.
Actually,
he has no doubt in his mind that if he doesn't knock me out, he's going to win. So Kendrick, don't waste your breath and your time. He knows. He knows his only path to victory.
Well, my question, I pose my question to you: is there a way you win without having to grind it out, or are you just going to do the same thing as fight one, grind it out and just do your thing?
What? What the fuck did he just say?
He knows his only path to victory.
Well, my question, I pose my question to you: is there a way you win without having to grind it out, or are you just going to do the same thing as fight one, grind it out and just do your thing?
What was the question?
I can make it easy and do that to him, or I can just beat him up on the feet. I can do whatever I want, Kendrick. That's the difference between him and I. He's got one way to win the fight. I can win any way I choose to.
Do you think is DC just answering? You know, just pretending he understands and just saying what he thinks. I don't know.
Gotcha. So would you stand and get in a knockout drag out like you did with Alexander, or are you just gonna keep it safe?
If I need to, I will. If Anthony makes me, then I will.
Nathan Anderson.
It really does depend on how I decide to fight Kendrick.
And what's his confidence come from? Just for the fact that you already beat him, or just something that you added to your repertoire that we haven't seen before?
Repertoire. His confidence, yeah, he already beat him. I would say that would be it, pretty much. I think that would be the confidence.
I mean, I've been training him, and I've gotten better. I feel like I'm a better fighter today than I was the first time. You know, the first time we fought, I fought him on 3.5 weeks' notice. I had a 3-week training camp. and still outworked him.
You know what? I completely forgot about that.
I mean, I know I was a different opponent than his previous guy, but he still had a full training camp. I had 3.5 weeks to get prepared for a championship fight and still found a way to outwork him.
All right, so Connor says he asked if DC can only win by grinding it out. Okay, thank you. We're going to use Connor to translate the rest of this guy's questions because I can't even wrap my head around what the hell he's saying.
It's going to happen now that I've been training for him for 12 weeks. It's going to be worse than the first one.
What's your take to critics, DC, that said that you lost the step since the surgery?
I have no idea what people are talking about. I fought Anderson Silva on 2 days' notice, and I beat a guy that people consider the greatest fighter of all time, 30-26 across the board. There was no danger in that fight. That was the...
Oh, God. Nathan Anderson says, how is this Kendrick on this level journalistically? And Chris is here with us, 13. Oh, God, it's so embarrassing. Oh, well. I could have crushed this guy, you're right. That's a very true statement. That is wonderful, wonderful. I agree. But I'd rather hang out with you guys because you guys are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
The easiest fight of my entire career. I don't know how I lost this step. If anything, I showed I can still get takedowns whenever I choose to.
Look forward to see y'all guys. I got 2 questions for Chris. Chris, do you think this is a crossroads match with the fact that you lost the last 2, or are you not putting any extra pressure on this fight?
Crossroads? No, I don't see it as a threat. I see it as a challenge. You know, I got a tough guy in front of me who's good in all areas, experienced guy who's on a win streak. Something I'm very familiar with is fighting guys on win streaks. I want to become the best in the world. I want to get that belt back. And fighting a guy like Gegard Mousasi is just the type of guy I need to do it. So I'm more motivated than ever to get the job done, especially coming off of 2 losses.
And would you like?
What are Chris Weidman's chances right now in the chat? Let me know. What are Chris Weidman's chances getting back in that win column? Does anyone think he has a chance?
In New York and like fighting in New York, do you feel any less pressure? The fact that you got that out your system fighting at 205, or is it still like another big deal and kind of extra pressure fighting in your home state?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's extra pressure. I didn't really feel like it was extra pressure last time. It was just an awesome experience for me, to be honest with you. It was a dream come true to finally fight in Madison Square Garden after all the work of getting it legalized here, to have all my family, friends, and fans there. It was just an amazing experience, and then to have it go the way it went was obviously was tough. It wasn't what I expected to make a mistake and hit with a flying knee, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there with blood running down, thinking I can't believe this is happening. So I'm more motivated from that setback, because I feel like the harder of a setback you have, the more major of a comeback you can have, and I just feel the glory I'm going to feel after this fight is like no other I've had in my career.
And final question is a two-part question. What do you feel a win would put you out in the state of y'all crazy division, and what do you think with the state of y'all crazy division with the whole GSP Bisping thing?
I mean, I only can control what I can control. I don't worry about the things I can't control. I can control me beating Mousasi on April 8th. That's all I'm focused on. As far as Bisping and GSP, I think it's definitely going to hold up the division. I don't think it's a weird fight to have for the middleweight title for sure. I understand people getting upset, but I just feel like everything's going to work out for me. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get the belt back, and I just have to take one fight at a time, and it'll work out for me.
So what do you think a win puts you at in the division? You back in the running?
That's a good question. Where would it put him if he gets a win? Where does he stand in that division? I think he's right back in the mix. I really do.
Of course, I'd love to fight for the title right away, but I have no idea what's going to happen. I could fight 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't care. I'm focused on the process. I'm enjoying getting better, and I'm just focused on getting better. Eventually, the title shot will come. That's going to happen.
All right, good luck to y'all guys next week. Look forward to watching you on Buffalo.
This guy is the best. He needs to ask all the questions from now on. He really does. Porky Pig, you are the man. You definitely are. Now, Weidman's chances against Mousasi are it's a difficult task, man. It really is. I didn't get a chance to see that UFC what the fuck was it called? That whatever it's called. They did a little special on the 210 event. I got to check that out. Actually, right after this, I'm going to check that out. But Chris Weidman versus Gegard Mousasi, that shit is going to be fucking crazy. The top two fights are the two fights to look out for on this card. I mean, talk about top heavy. Don't sleep on this fight over here. The more I look at it, the more I think about it, the more I see that this might be a pretty good fight. But we'll talk about that more on Wednesday. We're right now focusing on UFC 210, the top two, the media call of Chris Weidman, Gegard Mousasi, DC Rumble, and a whole lot of shit. Wednesday night, we're going to be doing our fight buddies. We're going to be hanging out with you guys, swole. And we have some surprises coming on Wednesday night. I'm going to have some guests on. We're going to do something. What I want to do is an all-ladies show, the ladies of MMA on Wednesday night. So we're going to have some guests. We're going to have some very nice young ladies coming on talking about UFC 210. This is Fight Week. And we're going to be introducing you guys to some new YouTube channels that you have to check out. Good stuff. We're creating a nice family of MMA-holes, and I'm liking it. It's wonderful. Wonderful, right? Yeah, John. John?
Wonderful.
John's fucking sleeping. Let's look at this chat. Look at this chat room. Swole chat room as usual. Nightbot, are you behaving in there? Don't make me come in there and beat you up. All right. Whoa, what the fuck? Guess I got here, excuse me, on YouTube right on time. Jay Smoothie, yes, you did. And you can lick my balls.
Lick my balls.
How's everyone? Davey 2K's back. What's up, my friend? I hope everything's wonderful.
Wonderful.
What's good, MMA-holes? We're all good. We're all fine. We're recovering from WWE, and may that never happen again. Backwoods North says, Weidman likes them meat cigarettes, boys. Very nice.
Wonderful.
Meat cigarettes. That's good. Davey 2K says, I meant to say, how's everyone? We're all good. Don't worry about it. Nathan Anderson says, Weidman needs to make the same whites only deal with the devil Tom Brady made if he wants to be the best. Jacob is here. Where'd he go? Well, Israel's talking to him. Jacob, have you listened to this media call? There will be a Hindu reporter that will take over the call. Please translate for us. Okay, Jacob's gonna be on point translating. Jay Smooth says Musazi murking Weidman. Musazi KO round 3. Wonderful, wonderful, says Nightbot. Backwoods North says, who the fuck is Nightbot? Dan is here. That's right. I remember me, says Davey2K. We remember you. We always remember you. We remember everyone over here on the MMA-Holes. 5 more likes. We play the song. 14 watching on this media call. MMA-Holes media call was so close right now to 800 subscribers. Well, there you are. 800 fucking subscribers. This is awesome. Having a great time with you guys on this lovely Monday night. And here it is. Back to the media call. Keep those comments going. By the way, Nightbot is a new friend of the MMA-Holes. There's no moderator, but Nightbot has the power to moderate. But I deballed him. So he's just going to jump in every once in a while and spam the chat. That's what Nightbot does. So back to the media call.
Thank you. Take care.
And we'll take our next question from Steven Morocco with MMAJunkie.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, question for Chris and Gegard. Has your, kind of following up on the previous question, has your perception of what it takes to get a title shot changed in the past year? Start with Chris.
I mean, not really. I know you keep winning and you get the title shot. You know, I've had it obviously before, and I didn't expect to get it after losses. So it's gonna happen with wins, and I don't know what the heck that noise is, but and then
he's easily distracted. It sounds like someone's at a gym.
That's pretty much it. No, I don't. I think the sports changed a little bit with the belt system, but I don't think it's going to affect me.
And Gegard?
Well, you know,
that name Gegard, man, you have to be a fighter with a name like Gegard Musazi, right? Just sounds like you're a fighter. Gegard. He's just like a silent killer, not a man of many words. Gegard Musazi is a dangerous man, and here is his answer.
I need to get this win. That's the most important. And, I'm ready. I'm more than ready. And after that, it's just a popularity contest. Let's be honest. Joe Romero is next, but he's not getting his shot simply because he doesn't speak English. He's Cuban. Those things matter. But at the end of the day, I need to win. So I need to do my job first, and then we see how it goes.
Chris Weidman is amused. He's amused by that comment.
So what do you guys think of that ultimatum that Bisping gave to GSP? Basically, put up or shut up by July.
This is what I think of this.
Do you think he's actually going to fight Romero if GSP doesn't step up?
No.
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 Talk of Bisping. Bisping just talks.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Nothing. He's going to wait, make a Mickey Mouse fight, and
what?
then...
He's going to wait and make a Mickey Mouse fight? The fuck? Was he from the Mickey Mouse fight? Was he from, like, the 50s? He's going to make a Mickey Mouse fight. I think my grandfather used to say that.
I don't think he want to fight Joe Romero, or he wants to delay it as much as possible. He said himself he's going to retire in 1 or 2 fights, so obviously he's looking for a big fight to get a little bit money. You can't blame the guy. He wants to take care of his family, make money. Good for him. But
and then moving.
Are these guys selling this fight for you? Like, after hearing it, we're more than halfway. Actually, we're at the halfway point. It was a short media call. Are these guys selling a fight for you guys? Are you guys pumped up? Are you guys swole and ready to party for UFC 210? If it wasn't for the actual fights, I would not. This media call, the last media call was terrible. UFC 209, absolutely horrible. Horrible. If it wasn't for Khabib and Ferguson, they stole the show. Here, no one's stealing the show. There is no one stealing the show. It's just kind of lame. It's so fucking lame right now. Guys, you're trying to sell a pay-per-view. Put some asses in the seats. Fucking sell some pay-per-views, for God's sakes. Let's get this party going. Let's go.
Yeah, the number one contender has to get his shot,
So Musazi's upset. He thinks the rankings are disrespected, and he says the number one contender needs to get a spot. Which, yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. These guys, they fight for the rankings to move up fairly, and a lot of guys get brushed off because of the big money fights. WME has changed the game. Conor McGregor has changed the game. Ronda Rousey, whatever you want to say, the game has changed. And Musazi's not happy about it. But it is what it is. He has to get past Chris Weidman, and the sky's the limit. Or is it? Because Gegard Mousasi's contract is up after this.
Gotcha. And then moving on to Daniel and Anthony. When do you think they'll pair the winner of your fight with Jones? Do you have any thoughts on that timeline? Maybe start with Daniel.
I don't know. The focus is really on Anthony, man. I can't really worry about what's next because
Jay Smooth says personality of paint drying on a wall.
Even though I believe that the paths to victory are in my favor, his one way of winning is very dangerous. He could actually knock me out in no time. That's a big possibility. So I'm just worried about Anthony. Man, I can't waste my energy anymore on a guy that hasn't been around and that truly cannot be trusted to be eligible to fight. It's hard to really do that.
Here's my question to you guys right now in the chat. Okay, who does the UFC want to win? That's the real question. Who does the UFC want to win? Does the UFC want to see Rumble or DC? Do they want to see Weidman or Musazi? Who do you think? Out of those two fights, I want to know DC and Weidman, Rumble and Musazi and DC. Give me the combo, the two fighters out of the co-main and the main. Let me know who you think the UFC wants to win, because I think that's pretty interesting. Me personally, I think the UFC wants DC. I think the UFC wants CW as in Chris Weidman. I just feel that the UFC probably thinks those two would be a little bit more marketable when it comes to the big fights. DC goes after John Jones again, and Weidman, the whole story of him running up the rankings, trying to grab his belt back. Unfortunately, that's what I think the UFC wants to see. I don't think we lose in any situation here because Musazi's awesome. He's fun to watch fight. He's fucking tough as all hell. And Rumble's got the fucking KO power. Who do you guys think? Let me know right now.
And Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny hasn't crossed my mind at all, or what's after this fight. I'm focused on Daniel, and that's all I need to focus on right now. So I'll think about whoever and whatever, April 9th, maybe April 10th.
Okay. And one quick question, if I could. You mentioned that you don't want to be the guy that's bad-mouthed on message boards, but I guess my question is, do you still read message boards?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Anthony.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, sometimes, people will, some friends of mine or whatever will, send me a link, you know what I mean, and I'll just happen to read it if I'm not doing anything. So from time to time, I'll, catch stuff here and there.
I see in the chat. Let's go to the chat. I see people saying stuff, and I read. All right. Nathan Anderson says Rumble and Weidman. Nathan Anderson, welcome back to the chat, by the way. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Also, CJ Smooth says the UFC wants DC and Weidman. So we got a Rumble and Weidman, okay? We have a DC and Weidman. Connor says Rumble and Weidman. Rumble has the KOs. That's correct by Olympia Lowlife. He really does. Jay Smooth says they want DC to win to set up a rematch with Jones. Jay Smooth says Harambe Johnson will quit again. Jesus Christ says Musazi has the mentality of a Rockhold before he got KO'd by Bisping. Same thing, same thins, same result. Again, Olympia Lowlife says DC has to beat Jones to complete his legacy. I really need to see that fight. I really do need to see that fight in the worst way. Jay Hobo's here. What's up, my friend? Haven't seen you, and I hope you are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Rumble versus Jones is a way more exciting fight. DC versus Jones. Hold on. Rumble versus Jones. Here's the thing. Jones, DC has so much juice. Has so much juice to me because of what they said earlier. DC needs this fight. If he could actually beat John Jones and just sail off into the sunset, he finally avenged that one L on his resume, that blemish. DC needs this. He's approaching 40 years old. He doesn't have much time left. He wants this rematch in the worst way. You have to give a fighter credit for wanting to avenge their loss. And it wasn't even a bad loss. He went fucking 5 rounds with John Jones, who is insanely good. So, listen, would I not want to see Rumble versus Jones? I would love to see Rumble versus Jones. But right now, I need to see DC versus John Jones. Back from the dead, says X-Ghost. What's up? Welcome back. DC versus Jones is old news. Their childish back and forth banter is played out. So Hydrostatic says, "Fook that." Frank Pavon says, UFC don't need anybody to win. They match who they want regardless. You know, that's a good point. UFC doesn't care. DC loses and all of a sudden he's fighting Jones. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that. If Rumble wins, that means DC and Rumble have to fight for the 3rd time. Oh, no. That's interesting. Say Rumble knocks DC out. 2nd round knockout. Do they fight another time? I don't know. Maybe DC retires after that. There's a good chance if Rumble runs over DC and puts him asleep, there's a good chance you see DC retire. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. We need to see Rumble post USADA Jones. That's what Hydrostatic wants to see. UFC don't want that shit. DC will never beat Jones. Jones owns that division, even if he if he is on dick drugs, coke, weed, etc. Nightbot, wonderful, wonderful. DC beats OSP Jones. If Rumble wins, he defends against Manoa. Then they do DC Jones without the belt, says Connor. Jay Hobo says they won't do Manoa versus Rumble 2 so soon. All right, there's the feedback from the holes. Back to the media call.
Why does it help you, or is it a part of staying grounded? I mean, does it do something else?
No, sometimes it's fun to...
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Yes! That's right! It's time to dance! The tip jar has the 10 likes. Tickle, tickle.
10 more likes.
I've got 10 more likes.
I've got 10 more likes.
Fuck you, dislikes.
I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. I've got 10 more likes. I hope the dislikes die of AIDS.
That's right. Thank you for the likes. You guys are wonderful, wonderful. MMA-holes unite on a Monday media call UFC 210 show. We're getting to the home stretch right now. We have weekly shows every Wednesday, so keep coming back and keep hanging with
to read the stupid
the
shit
MMA-holes.
So that's it.
Gotcha. Thanks very much.
Do
and
it.
Once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. We'll take our next question from Akilish Ganavarapu.
Oh,
Please
boy.
Go ahead.
Here we go, Jacob.
Hey, guys. Greetings from India. My first couple of questions go to DC. DC, firstly, I wanted to ask you something which is puzzling.
Whoa!
In wrestling terms, you're the heel, quote-unquote, even against...
Whoa, this guy shot out of a fucking cannon. Hold on.
No, sometimes it's fun to read the stupid shit people say. So that's it.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thanks very much.
And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad.
*1.
We'll take our next question from Akilish Ganavarapu.
Akilish Ganavarapu.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right.
Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. Greetings from India. My first couple of questions go to DC. DC, firstly, I wanted to ask you something which is puzzling. In wrestling terms, you're the heel, quote-unquote, even against Rumble. So even a little while ago, you kind of taunted
Did he say you're the heel? I don't know what that means.
Rumble. Is it safe to say that you've embraced the heel in you?
Embrace the heel in you?
No, man, I'm not talking.
What does that even mean? Embrace the heel in you? Am I missing something?
No, I don't know, like, my issue is if it makes me a bad guy because I tell the truth or the truth as I believe it, then I guess that's what I am. I believe everything. I'm not lying. I don't lie about anything. All I do is state the truth. If people don't like the truth, then that's on them. I'm not sitting here making stuff up. I'm not over here pretending. I'm over here stating facts. And if me telling the facts makes me the bad guy, then okay.
Yeah, because even before, during the press conference with John Jones, you're kind of annoyed because of the people booing you. So, has it been easy for you to come to terms with that?
I mean, it is what it is. You know, if people are going to boo, they're going to boo. It doesn't really matter to me. I know who I am. My friends know who I am, and the people that matter know who I am. So.
Oh, here we go. So heel it means bad guy. I never heard of that before. Heel. Heel means bad guy. Where does that come from? Heel equals bad guy? WWE term. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go with the WWE shit again.
If people boo me, they boo me. I don't know. I don't know why they do it, but they made decisions as to who they want to back, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion and their right to cheer and root for whoever they want to root for. At the end of the day, when I win my fight and I keep the belt, I bring the belt home to the people that matter. The fans that support me, they share in those moments with me. The ones that don't, they boo me in the moment, then they go about their business, and they can boo me next time they see me, or they can mess around on my social media, but that stuff doesn't matter. You know, the people that matter are the ones that support me and the people that are closest to me.
All right, fair enough. Now, Rumble has improved a lot since your last fight with him, almost making a statement against Bader by, showing excellent takedown defense, taking the fight to the ground, not being hesitant, with going to the ground. So what are your thoughts on Rumble being a different fighter than when you last fought him?
It's a good question. Rumble being a different fighter than... Are we going to see a different Rumble Johnson? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that we're going to see a different Rumble Johnson this time around? Or is it going to be the same song and dance?
Man, Ryan Bader shot from halfway across the octagon. They said fight, and before Ryan Bader could even meet Anthony in the middle of the octagon, he shot. What people are missing is that Anthony Johnson was never a bad wrestler. He always could wrestle and defend takedowns. Anthony's a junior college national champion in wrestling. He's not a bad wrestler. Nobody ever thought he was a bad wrestler. It's not. I never said he can't wrestle. He can. He obviously can defend takedowns. He defended a lot of my takedowns. I never question that. And then when we talk about him being a completely different fighter, I don't necessarily know what you guys are basing this on. He beat Jimmy Manoa. He took him down, but of course he's going to take Jimmy Manoa down. He's a wrestler. Jimmy
Harambe Johnson getting raped.
Manoa can't wrestle. Then you're talking about him and Ryan Bader. If I would have shot it on Anthony from across the octagon, he would have did the same thing to me. He fought for a total of 7 minutes since him and I fought, but he's this completely different fighter. I have no idea where you guys are getting this from.
If I can get a quick retort from Rumble regarding what DC just said. Rumble, do you necessarily agree with what DC just said about you right now?
Yeah. He was telling the truth about Bader. He told the truth about, how long I've been in the cage since him and I have fought. So that's about the only thing that he said that was correct.
I love it. That's great.
Okay.
Good for Rumble. He's a man of few words.
So moving away from the title fights for a minute now, the light heavyweight division is kind of in a limbo with the same 3 or 4 guys fighting for the title in the past couple of years. So, Anthony, what does John Jones' return do to the division and for yourself?
What does John Jones what?
John Jones' return. What does it do to the division? The question everyone wants to know.
John Jones' return to the octagon?
Yeah, well, I haven't been thinking about John. That's the last person that's even crossed my mind. You know what I mean? He's just, I don't have a reason to think about him right now. I have to fight Daniel, not John, so I don't think about John. So him returning or anything like that just isn't in my thought process. Whatever, it's just not relevant to me right now.
All right, fair enough. You've been on a tear recently. So do you go into this fight looking for retribution? And what's your mentality going into the fight, knowing that your last loss came against DC?
Good for this guy coming in there, killing it with the questions. Good questions.
My mentality is just go out there and do my best, man. Do what I have to do to win, and just be myself, do my thing. The cards are gonna fall what they're supposed to, so I'm not really worried about anything.
Jacob Elshadi says they need an interpreter to translate Indian English back Black English to Black English. Indian English to Black English.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It just kills me, man. I just wish that these guys had a little bit more oomph, a little bit more effort into their answers. I mean, they just do not want to be here. I understand they have a fight coming up. They're got to be in the zone. They're training. They're hungry. You know, they just want to eat a nice fucking big cheeseburger. But guys, you want to get paid too, right? I mean, you're the main event. You're getting a cut. So let's get the party started, man. Let's fucking a little more excitement into the fucking answers.
All right. My next couple of questions go to Chris Weidman. Chris, the last time we spoke, you talked about climbing back into the contention for the titles. Now, you just spoke about the situation with Bisping, GSP, and even Tyron Woodley throwing his name into the hat regarding a fight with Bisping. So, how do you see yourself climbing back into the contention? Do you think a fight over Mousasi, probably another couple of fights? Just what is the entire situation involving you that you think need to do to get back into the title contention?
I think I need to, prove myself. Number one, I got to put on good performances. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there, put on a good performance, and then, like Mousasi said, I hope that people back me and they want to see me fight for the title, and we'll see what's going on. And if not, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm just going to keep on fighting whoever they put in front of me.
All right, and Gegard is one of the most versatile fighters, with him adapting to different opponents. So from your fight with Yoel Romero to now, what has been the major difference for you? Have you trained differently for someone like Gegard?
Well, I guess the one major difference is, I don't have a southpaw for the first time in, 4 or 5 years. So it's a nice change to kind of the beginning of times. I think the last time I fought an orthodox fighter might have been Mark Munoz. So it's been a while. But other than that, no. I've trained really hard. I've been more motivated for this fight. I've really got myself in a great place mentally, physically, and spiritually. I just feel great, healthy, and I'm excited to go out there and put on a show.
He's so excited to put on a show, and he's putting us all to sleep. Chris, you're a nice guy. You're a New York guy. I'm pulling for you, buddy. But for fuck's sake, a little more energy, a little more oomph into your answers.
All right, fantastic. My last two questions go to Gegard Mousasi. Gegard, firstly, manager had previously said that the fight between you and Weidman might not happen. Now that we are just a week away, do you think a victory over the former champion would put you in front of the line for a title shot next?
Well, I don't think so, but Yoel Romero is next. He's the number one contender. I'm not focused on the title right now. I'm just focused on Weidman and to get the win. That's all.
All right. Now you had faced someone who was, who had a wrestling heavy style against Latifi before. Now the way you adapt to different fighters or different styles is very impressive. So I just wanted to know, how do you see this fight unfold?
Well, I know how Chris Weidman's going to fight. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to put the pressure on me, work on the cardio, do some wrestling, do some striking. But at the end of the day, I'm prepared.
What was he laughing at? There was someone tickling him while he was answering the question?
I know exactly what he's going to do. So I'm more than prepared. I got my skills, I think, and I'm going to show it April. So I'm very confident. That's all I can say.
All right, one last question for you, Gegard. After your last fight during the post-fight press conference, you kind of emphasized on the need to talk properly, the trash talk to get into the title contention now. Do you see that, that's still the case for someone like you who is on a winning streak and, if you beat, as you said, Weidman, you would be beating a former champion. Do you think that's still the case for you?
Well, no, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm not acting. I'm not an actor. Some guys, they're good at trash talking. They put on an act. It's WWE. But, end of the day, I'm just me, just speaking my mind. And, what can I say? I'm coming to fight. That's all I can say. I'm looking forward to the fight.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Jeffrey Harris with 411 Media. Please go ahead.
Sorry about that earlier. I was having some phone connection trouble. Anthony, it is almost 10 years from the year you had your very first UFC fight in June 2007, and this will be your second shot at the title, and it's hard enough for a fighter just to get one shot at the UFC title. Do you think you need this belt to complete and round out, what's already been a very impressive career?
Oh, of course. Yeah, getting the belt would definitely.
Jacob says the interview is like from a brown man to another in his head.
We put everything in place for me, and mentally, it's like an obsession. You know what I'm saying? I definitely will go out there and do my best and do what I have to do to win. And whenever my career is over with, I can sit back and say I did it.
Now, if you talk to yourself from 10 years ago, that time when you first came into the UFC, would you give yourself from 10 years ago any advice, or would you give him any tips?
He'd be like, my advice would have been to knock out DC in the first round instead of let him get back up.
Yeah, don't be dumb, like I used to be. But
and not beat women, because that got me in trouble.
If I could go back and learn something, it would definitely be just to soak in a lot more information than what I did. Because when I was young, I was like, hot-headed and thought I knew everything and was just an athlete and
if my supper wasn't ready correctly, I would slap a hoe.
Like, this won't happen and that won't happen. So, when you're young like that, that's just how you think. So I definitely wish I can go back.
And for Daniel, I know you're training for a big title fight, but will you still have time to watch WrestleMania this weekend?
Fucking WrestleMania. That shit show.
I was actually talking to Selena yesterday, and I go, shit. She goes, what? I said, man, when we're traveling to Buffalo, WrestleMania is going to be on. Is there any way for me to stream WrestleMania from the plane?
He should have watched the MMA-holes. We could have walked him right through it. I had exact, precise play-by-play on yesterday's stream of WrestleMania. I knew everything that I was talking about, and I got drunk.
But she said the Wi-Fi would be too slow, so I'm going to have to miss it. But I'm going to have to put my phone on airplane mode and leave it there until I get to Buffalo on Sunday night. And then once I get there, I think I'm going to watch WrestleMania. So it's going to be a long night for me on Sunday, but I'm not missing it.
All right.
So my picks, if you want my picks, I got Reigns, I got Lesnar, and I got Bray Wyatt in the top 3 fights.
All right, thank you. I hope you
You think DC knows that WWE is fake?
don't get spoiled on any of the outcomes. Guys, and good luck to all of you. Can't wait to see these fights.
Thank you.
And that concludes today's question and answer session.
All right, there we go. Exciting. All right, that was it. What do you take from that Q&A? I really learned absolutely nothing. I don't want to watch the fight now, and forget about Fight Buddies on Saturday. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Let's disregard that. It didn't do anything for me. I mean, I'm not asking for major shit talking. I'm just asking, when I get a chance to ask a fighter, why should people choose to tune in on your fight? Like, when you are fighting, why should people watch? Why should people be buying the pay-per-views, turning on the channel, getting tickets to the event? Why? Why? That's what we want to know. And honestly, I got nothing of that. Nothing. And I like these guys. I like these fighters. I like watching all 4 fighters fight. I'm a fan of all of them. But sell a pay-per-view, man. Get me pumped up. Get me juiced up. This is not going to do it. That's why you have to rely on stupid shows like this to get you amped up for a fucking fight. Sell it a little bit better. DC was a little subdued too. Usually DC's shot out of a cannon, and he kind of fucking was like, whatever. Let's get this over with. It is what it is. Let me know what you think about this media call. Does this help your decision in buying the fight? Did it even really matter? What are your thoughts on what these guys said? And UFC 210 is this Saturday. Stay tuned for MMA-HOLES Wednesday. We're going to come strong at all of you guys. We're going to be looking for you guys on Wednesday night. So we're going to be filling in this room. If you're new to the show, subscribe right now so you get the alert. Tap the bell. We'll be here Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have special appearances from other YouTube channels. It's going to be really cool. Load up that chat room, get it going and flowing. And I can't wait. I can't wait for Wednesday. I love my Wednesday shows. I love hanging out with you guys. And remember, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole. Ba-na-na-na-na.